Good evening, folks. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I am your host, Tiffany Daniels, and we are continuing going through some things that were submitted by former employees. This was written back on March the 29th, 2006, so jumping a little ahead in time. They weren't kidding when they said this was all over the place. But first, the usual disclaimers. First off, you are going to see the link right there in the description box alongside the other links, alongside the other pertinent links to the Stop the Shocks campaign, including Autistic massive archive on the subject, the templates, and the ever-present and self-explanatory change.org Shut the Judge Rotenberg Center Down petition. Now, folks, when we talk about the JRC, you're going to hear vivid descriptions of and catch clips of surveillance footage of people with disabilities being tortured and abused. If you got young children present, please use your headphones, alright? Now, folks, I am brain dead. I had to brave the horror that is the mall today. God, I hate the mall. So if I stumble over my words, as I already have, please, my apologies in advance, alright? Okay, so as I said, March 29th, 2006. I have worked for your organization, directly to them, Judge Rotenberg Center, for the past 3 years and 2 months. Most staff at JRC know me, and people who know me know that I like helping people in every way that I can. My sister died of cystic fibrosis when she was 10 years old, and I know what it is like for a family to travel around the country trying to get the best and most promising care available for their child. I think parents have been supportive of the JRC because it offers hope where there seems to be no hope, and the charts look promising. I think that's a bunch of fucking garbage, but you know me, folks. I know how good it feels inside to be able to help somehow and see the students in my care respond to my small efforts. I frequently took only 5 to 10 breaks because I preferred spending my time helping the students. It is that desire to make a positive difference that has motivated me to remain at JRC for 3 years. I've been stuck in this terrible predicament of having to choose between staying at JRC to help students in small ways that I can help, or to leave the JRC because the overall philosophy of treatment feels very wrong and lacking. I resigned blank. When I first started working at JRC, I felt bad about students getting electric shocks. I started to get nightmares of the students screaming in pain when they received the electric shock and the screams echoing down the halls. In the mornings, I would justify to myself that it was necessary to give the students the shocks, like receiving spankings as a child myself, because that was necessary. Because their behaviors were so severe. Bullshit. Severe my ass. Students were in pitiful conditions when they arrived from other institutions that rejected them, and I could see in the charts and in person that their behaviors drastically changed for the better while on the electric devices. Bullshit! Better my ass! Better my ass! You mean acting like someone who's experienced trauma? Becoming fucking robots? That's fucking better? Bullshit. But no matter how I justify working at JRC, the nightmares continued to get worse. Then I had what seemed to be a minor back injury that would not heal. After 7 weeks without work, Blank was very kind and gracious to find work that I could do for JRC, typing transcripts for the health videos. My pain in my back still did not go away for another 7 weeks and was still weak when I returned to the classroom. Soon after, I was moved out of JRC main campus to work in the residences during the day with the students on house restrictions. I developed stomach pains and nausea that was worse at night, and the nightmares kept me up 5 hours per night with the screams of the students who I loved, even though I was removed from the students on devices. I still justified to myself daily that the JRC was doing a great thing by helping these students in a big way. Bullshit. Then I witnessed an incident of a student getting shock in workshop for standing up and taking 2 steps while raising his hand saying, "Excuse me, please, I need to go to the bathroom, please. I was sick for 3 nights. My doctor said I was getting an ulcer, that my cholesterol had shot up dangerously high, even though I had strictly followed the rave vegan diet without exceptions, and advised me to leave JRC. Now, blank, after leaving JRC, I feel much healthier, my stomach is no longer bothering me, and I'm sleeping soundly at night. The time away from JRC has helped me to clear my head. I would like to inform you that I can no longer look at JRC's treatment program in a positive light, and that there are other options that you can use for JRC that will work much better. Until changes are made, I am now in opposition to the methods used at JRC. The suggestions that I am making, I believe, can save JRC. I had the opportunity to observe a different school near JRC that serves students with autism. I witnessed students exhibiting some major behaviors, including a student slapping a teacher in the face and becoming aggressive, that were de-escalated and addressed without electric shocks or restraints. The teacher was able to regain control of the situation, and the student demonstrated that he was again following her directions before students moved on to their next activity. Students at that school exercise for 2 to 3 hours per day to get their endorphins moving, which works better than drug medications. There was a wide variety of hands-on academics for these students with autism, but the emphasis was all about demonstrating to students their own ability to learn and to produce quality art, music. They have a brass band of students with autism, as well as regular academic objectives. They get great results in controlling behaviors, but through a very different approach, one of nurturing the person inside each student, and never treating a student through pain. I saw that it is not necessary to hurt students to help them. The person is always there. God, I'm so fucking tired of this. I'm so tired of this goddamn mentality that you have to dig the person out underneath all the autism. It's fucking garbage. Autism is part of who we are. We do not keep autism in a little fucking baggie in our freaking side purse, folks. Okay? Stop the bullshit. You will not unbury your child underneath all the autism. How stupid are you? It is part of who we are. And when you sit there and you say stupid shit like that, I'm sorry, you're not accepting your child. You're not accepting them as human beings. You think you have to either dig to find your real child underneath all the autism, which is garbage, or you don't think they're real people at all. I am tired of it, folks. I am so tired. Us in the autistic community and the neurodiversity community, we're tired, folks. You have no idea how tired we are, especially us older ones. Quit trying to make us hate a piece of who we are and force ourselves to burn out very young by masking to make you people feel better. Done. Sorry about the rant. At JRC, working with students with autism and intellectual disability, I have something important to say, an educated opinion. I firmly now believe that all of the behaviors of the students with autism at JRC can be addressed even more effectively without painful shocks, with only a fraction of the restraints, and even more effectively without pain restraints at the JRC. Or you could not restrain us at all. It can be done with the right approach and program. I will give a few examples. After I piloted the lanyard system behavioral experiment for you in workshop, as well as other experiments before the lanyard system, Blank showed me the outstanding results. Behaviors had dropped to almost nothing with 8 students in the pilot studies. Though 1 year later, an email was sent out saying JRC was going to discontinue the lanyard system school-wide. 14 students were listed in email examples of types of students who were non-responsive to the lanyard reward system. I hate this fucking stick and carrot shit, folks. All 8 students in the original pilot study with me were included in the last, oh my god, not working months after I left the workshop. Why were all 8 students successful in the pilot study with me listed among the 14 most unresponsive to the lanyard system? The answer is very profound and telling, and I believe that the answer can save your school. It was not the punishments and rewards system that got the results. What worked was that I took time to observe each and every student's progress with their task. Okay, fair enough. And to acknowledge them in my ACs that they were doing it correctly. It doesn't matter if you give students real pennies or plastic tokens or cloth lanyards around the neck. Look how many students you have who are not getting many super goodies anymore now that students are on tokens again. These students were just as happy getting pieces of cheap plastics as real food. Oh, for the love of God, or you can just fucking feed them. What matters is the acknowledgments that I was giving, not the superficial good doing your task, which is typical. I actually looked at what they needed help on and showed them how to do their tasks correctly, how to sit correctly, then immediately acknowledged them for doing so correctly before they changed to their old habits. Each time I acknowledged their success for their own specific academic or behavioral goals that I set for them, I was reinforcing in their memory what the objective was, that they could accomplish the objective, that I was noticing them accomplishing the objectives, and that I was consistent. I set the variable timer to 2 minutes when one or more students were having flurries of behaviors. They then gave all other students the attention who were trying to learn without behaviors. Oh, fuck me. Neurotypical savior again. Fuck me. I hate this ignore shit. This ignore shit that's a part of ABA is fucking dangerous, folks. We could be having severe sensory issues that are causing behaviors that cause us a great amount of pain. And you turning away to ignore us because we're having a behavior is fucking awful. We are communicating something very vital to you. We are trying to tell you that we are in pain. God. Oh no, but we can't have reasonable accommodations because, that would be enabling us. Fuck me. Then I would work the timer back up every 5 minutes once all the students were behaving to remind myself to give acknowledgments and super goodies consistently. What worked overall and exactly what these students were needing was for someone to actually care about them and their progress and their ability to do something meaningful tasks and do these tasks well, to be genuinely noticed and admired. Any program will only work if it reminds the staff to notice and to love these students sincerely. Why do you think blank who blows up like he does? How long could you sit counting and wrapping popsicle sticks with rubber bands for 8 hours a day, 7 days a week, for years and years and years? So now he's on the special chair to shock him when his frustration finally bursts out and he stands up and throws his table. After the lanyard system pilot studies, I was asked to teach 8 students how to do the popsicle task who had not yet learned how to do the task correctly after years of doing the task incorrectly, hour after hour, day after day. I was told repeatedly by 3 supervisors that these students could not learn. I broke the task into gradient steps and taught the students in just 3.5 weeks to do the task correctly. I broke the task into gradient steps, starting with the final steps and adding over time the previous steps so that they were always ending with a final product. Blink did 52 correct bundles in 1.5 hours of time, whereas before he would attempt 1 to 2 bundles per day, always incorrectly. I was told by a supervisor that I should not try to teach Blank, that he was retarded and couldn't learn, and that this was said in front of Blank, and curled up in response. God, the bastards. Staff Pro, who said Blank and others couldn't learn the task, were very upset by the rapid success, as well as my being named Staff of the Month for my efforts with the lanyard system. They teamed together, and student academics were unfortunately at the top of priorities. I was moved out. I was told point blank by one of your top administrators that focusing on academics has not been effective in reducing student behaviors at JRC. You're supposed to be a fucking school. Really? What do you actually teach them? Fear. The point I want to make about the experience of teaching these 8 students how to do the same vocational task as the other students in workshop is that the behaviors did drop significantly for this group of students too while I worked with them, just as they had dropped for the students on the lanyard system pilot study. The whole concept of punishment and rewards is misunderstanding of human nature itself because it loses the element of human connection. It is through demonstrating to each student their capabilities and through acknowledging them as respectable human beings that they make the greatest responses. And no, I am not suggesting that the students with severe behaviors just need academics and acknowledgement. I am saying that these are important elements in the whole picture that should be very powerful and effective treatment plans for students at JRC without the use of pain. For the love of God. But for the severe, shut the fuck up and maybe pay attention when autistics fucking talk to you. Remember, folks, behaviors are communication. We're trying to tell you something. Take your fucking fingers out of your ears, open your eyes, pay attention. Now you can sit there and tell me I don't understand all the fuck you want to. They hurt my other kids. They're aggressive. Okay? Where is it coming from? Because, folks, you can't just put a band-aid on it and expect it to work long term. That's not how it works. You can't send them to a school of torture and expect that they're going to be better. More times than not, they're going to be worse if they communicate and don't shut down entirely. Come on now. Okay, moving on. The powerful connection with students and respecting them applies to higher functioning students as well as blank, for example. He put a number of staff at JRC into the hospital with very serious life-threatening injuries and required 2-to-1 staffing. After working months at school on the computer to learn his multiplication facts, he did not know them better because he had not been on school on the computer, not been applying himself, and didn't want to see himself fail. The aims were set very low on the computer for blank, and many other students to pass the next level, like 25 correct answer per minute. Blank learned all the levels with me in 1.5 weeks, excluding the 4-week home visit in the middle, and I set the aim for 65 correct answers per minute. When I showed blank progress on the chart to the appropriate individuals in the education department, I was told to discontinue the work, that the math fact sheets that I had made for them were unapproved curriculum. Fuck me. Then I was given the data off the computers at my request, the data that you created for the students to learn their math facts and graduated levels. I used Microsoft Excel to scramble the data into beautiful forms. I was told that this too was unapproved curriculum. Your data off the computers, 50 large print questions per page, was not approved curriculum. I was given no further explanation. I later found a tricky way around the problem by making up sheets using something that had already been approved. Math Workshop Factory. I was able to help many students to drop their behaviors while at the residence on-house restrictions by helping them see themselves succeeding in something that was concrete and on a graduate scale, your math levels. Students literally begged to work on their math facts. No threats or rewards were necessary. So treating them like normal fucking students, normal kids? Shocker. Oh, excuse me. I would like to give one more example to show that other options are available to help students instead of punishments and rewards. In my youth, my brilliantly minded best friend named Blank was having difficulty with his rigid German mother. His mother grew up as a child with a harsh Nazi soldier for a father. The authoritarian approach was not working with Blank and was restrained repeatedly by his father when Blank would become dangerous. But Blank was getting too big for that. When Blank became frustrated, his family would have to escape in their car for their lives. One time, Blank even blew up the large microwave in the house with a bomb he constructed from household materials, leaving melted and twisted metal for a microwave, used later by the fire department for education purposes. And large pieces of glass stuck 1/2 inch periodically into the oak wood cupboards across the large kitchen from the microwave. Instead of putting Blank into a group home, his mother took Blank to a chiropractor, a foot rexologist, an allergist, and got him off the trigger foods in his diet, got him exercising on a daily basis, took daily interest in his academics as needed, and started him into regular music lessons. She drove him long miles for these services. It took 2 weeks for Blank's life to change, or even Blank acknowledged he was a new person. His mother was still overbearing, but the connection that they made through her efforts changed her heart too. Now Blank's making seven-digit figures for major advertising companies for a living, putting his brilliant mind to good use. He is quite the family man now. The point I am making is that there are alternatives to pain from electric shock, taking great effort to care for these students and to connect with them, physically through body contact and acupressure, well documented to reduce emotional charge, through exercise, through challenging them with the arts, through finding what the students are interested in academically, and fostering those interests and directing them towards careers, and breaking academic tasks down into achievable steps and having someone to observe and follow through with acknowledging their progress. There are all effective alternatives to punishment and rewards. This respect starts with the basic pinpoint, such as Blank, there is no stopping work. Before going on to the electronic dices, Blank might plot to slash your face in return for pinpoint. Blank does better at controlling his reactions now that he gets electric shock for it, and Blank will tell you that the electric shock is much better than being struck at the residence on house restrictions. But why instigate students to have so many crises and restraints in the first place? There are many ways to interest students in learning and improving their lives. My friend Blank would have quickly gone into electric devices if he had been placed at the JRC and had felt insulted by the pinpoints. Blank did not understand why he was acting that way back then, nor did the students understand their actions. I am giving you a video and 2 books by Blank, a homeopathic doctor who lives in Amherst, Mass. Oh, fuck me, homeopathy. Who happens to be the world's top specialist in homeopathy for pediatricians. Blank students with autism using all natural and completely safe drug-free approaches. Homeopathy effectively can reduce charge frustrations in the individual ways that students express their frustration called symptoms. Each client must be studied to determine their reactive state. Then a homeopathic remedy is selected from 5,000 remedies. Oh, fuck me. Well, okay. Maybe this dude is an okay dude, and I appreciate him for speaking out, but for the love of God, if you really fucking think that homeopathy is the answer, I got a fucking river in Egypt I could sell you. There might be some things that came out of homeopathy that might be able to help a person. But I hate pseudoscience. More people have lost more fucking money trying to cure their kids with homeopathy and bullshit home remedies, and more kids have learned to hate their doctors, hate medicine, and hate going anywhere to do anything for their health because of the stuff their parents shoved down your throats than I even cared to mention. I just wanted to put that down. If you have a kid who's having mental, emotional, or physical symptoms of reactiveness, do fucking not rely on homeopathy alone. Get a psychologist. Get a psychiatrist. Get a fucking certified team. For the love of God. Homeopathy has existed as a natural approach to medicine for over 300 years and has had a great comeback as an alternative to antibiotics and other medicinal drugs. Oh, fuck me, here we go. I'm sorry, but as someone who has resorted to herbal teas simply because I haven't had the time or enough money to go back to the doctors to get put back on my medication, I can tell you, between the two, what works better is my fucking medication, folks. God. A person can swallow bottles of homeopathic remedy without getting sick. Actually, that's bullshit, especially if you're working with tinctures, but yeah, we won't talk about that. That's another subject. I have personally observed many children making remarkable changes to their physical, emotional, and mental symptoms, including meeting children who used to have the symptoms of autism. Oh, fuck me, you're gonna sit there and tell me that oh my god. Oh my god, is well known for his many successes with autism and diabetes. Okay, I'm not reading any more of this shit. Okay. So it was a good letter before he started going into that homeopathic shit. For the love of God, folks, please take. No, this is a serious conversation. Please, for the love of fucking God, take homeopathy with a grain of salt. Okay? Take it with a grain of salt. This guy's obviously drank the Kool-Aid on it. But I can tell you from personal experience, being a part of the community as long as I have, how much we fucking hate pseudoscience and homeopathy bullshit. These idiotic people who think that they can use these herbal remedies and they're gonna cure you of your autism, it's garbage. It's complete garbage, folks. And it got all started up by Miss Jenny fucking McCarthy. You cannot cure your child of autism. You're not going to make them magically normal using homeopathy. It is absolute garbage. And there might be things in homeopathy that can help. I'm not going to sit there and tell you that it doesn't. Without at least some kind of supplement until I can get back on my meds again, I probably would have lost what was left of my shit, okay? But it is no replacement for real doctors, a real team, okay? Now, I've known many doctors who don't know their freaking head from their assholes, don't get me wrong. I've had to explain my actual diagnosis to more professionals than I care to remember or think about right now. But don't get it twisted. Homeopathy will not cure your child and is not any kind of replacement for real doctors and real science. Please, for the love of God, if you hear nothing else I say, other than when I tell you what happens at this place, hear me on this. Please listen. Homeopathic remedies, special diets, special drinks may help offset some of the things that come with autism. But they are no replacement for real doctors and real science. Do not take them off their meds. If the med's not working, talk to the doctor about it. But do not shift to this shit. And on that note, folks, I'm going to go ahead and close out for this evening. We don't get very many views on this channel, and the few that we do tend to get removed from time to time. So, folks, please don't forget to hit that like button, hit subscribe, don't forget to hit the comments. And to this dumbass here who wants to cure us through homeopathy, who thinks that we need to just find the person underneath the autism, who thinks that you need to save us, the only thing we need saving from is this ableist world who tries to cram this bullshit down our throats. And on that note, folks, I'm closing out tonight. Thank you so much for spending the time with us here at Spilling Tea. And as always, we hope you have a good one. Bye-bye.